Well, here we are, Tuesday night, and we are here, the Apex E Series Showdown here on the V-Speed Racing Network. Boy, it is a Thursday night, and what a great night to be running trucks at Bristol, and we're about to get with it here tonight. I want to thank our sponsor, Apex Sim Racing Custom Gear, apexsimracing.com. Well, what is there to say other than this awesome track, Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Coliseum, all the cliches, whatever you need. I'm Eddie Smith here on the V-Speed Racing Network. Well, it has been a great season so far, a lot of fun. We talked a little bit about it last week, just a lot of family. Well, you know what, after last week, I wonder if there's not some issues in the family. After last week's race was pretty wild. A lot of upset, folks, a lot of hurt feelings, but it's a new day, a new week, and what better to put a bunch of irritated folks on a half-mile super speedway, basically, here at Bristol Motor Super Speedway, excuse me. 150 laps here tonight, 75 miles here at the race number 4 of 23. Take a look at your schedule, see where we've been, where we're going. We got Daytona, Atlanta, Las Vegas. Those are in the books. And now we move on to Bristol. I mean, just a great array of tracks, wild beginning to the season. And then we're going to go from Bristol to Coda, man. What a wild way to start the season. Then we go to Martinsville, Texas, following pretty much the Trucks Series. And, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. As we'll take a look at the point standings. A little bit early, but Jonathan Cofield takes an early lead. He's got 19 points over Aaron Adcock. You can see there, Cofield's got the one win. Daniel Holcroft gets the win at Daytona. And then you got Michael Kosick down there in 6th, who got a win. They're all locked into the playoffs, so they don't really have to worry about too much about tonight. Aaron Adcock's sitting in a pretty good spot right there in 2nd. Kip Beasley there in 4th. Brandon Wallace is your top 5. But those guys outside the top 12, they're the ones who are going to have to worry about it. We still got a long way to go. Not really worth stressing over it, but you know, you got to be thinking about it. You don't want to let too many bad races take you out of this thing too early. So if you're Garrett Kinder, which I know he's going to be fast here tonight, get that number 13 machine. He's had a tough couple weeks. I know he'd love to get up there and go ahead and get a 1 in that win column and not really have to worry too much. Take a look at your track here tonight. Bristol Motor Speedway, we know where it's at. We know everything about it. Got the massive capacity. It can fit so many dang fans in there. It's just crazy. You see just a half-mile bull ring. But we know all about it. Take a look at your vehicle. We got all 3 of the manufacturers for the trucks. 650 horsepower. You're going to use every bit of it here tonight with these high bank, the corners. It is going to be a fun game, but trying to figure out when to move up, when to stay around the bottom, when you want to save the tires. So these things will get out from under you, but they'll be fast early on in the runs, and then you'll have to migrate up to the top to defend as they move on. So really, really awesome. Let's take a look at your cameras here tonight. We got Chuck Phelps there on the top left. Got Charles Stevens Jr. there on the top right. Aaron Adcock down on the bottom left, and Brandon Wallace down on the bottom right. So we got some nice driver cams for you tonight as we get ready to hit the track, man. Just a few minutes left in qualifying. We'll take a look at your qualifying times now. And Garrett Kinder currently sits atop the standings, and pretty much everybody has gone except for Alan Smith, Matt Rogers, Anthony Edgerton. Must be a couple guys deciding to wait it out, see how it goes. Maybe start from the back, try to stay out of the mix. I'll tell you what, I want to talk to a driver that hadn't been with us in a while, Chris McLean, but you put Bristol on the schedule, and Chris McLean shows up. Chris, this is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, buddy.
Man, it's good to talk to you again. It's been a while. First off, how you doing? I know we're getting ready to grid, but I hope everything's going well with you. Let's just jump right in. I'm not going to do the howdy do's and what's going on. Tell me about Bristol. You are the master here, in my opinion, in the trucks. What is it going to take for you to get the win here tonight?
Man, I don't know. Work's been getting in the way, so I ain't been able to be with y'all on Thursday nights. But I literally just walked in the door, sat down, my first lap was my qualifying lap, no practice. So we'll see. I may end up in the back of the pack.
Well, hey, I tell you what, about getting ready to grid, so I'll go ahead and let you go. Good to see you, Chris, and good luck tonight.
Thank you, buddy.
Well, it's good to see old faces. Chris McLean hadn't been here in a while, so it is good to see him. But hey, I'm telling you right now, first lap on the track, he's sitting third in the standings. Well, all right, it is time to jump right into your grid. We're going to see where everybody's going to start. And, of course, this is the Low Cash Motorsports starting grid, and we have to give out an award, dadgummit. And guess who it's going to? It's going to Garrett Kender, who's going to start on the pole. He's a Chuck Pegleg Pole Award winner, starting on the front row. As we'll jump into the Low Cash Motorsports starting grid. Michael Kostick, Atlanta race winner, going to start outside of the front row. Starting in row number 2, we talked to him, Chris McLean, and then Cofield, your points leader there in the 4th position. 5th going to be Christian Dedman. Tracy Patterson. Talked to Tracy before the race. He feels confident. He's got a lot of confidence he's been building over this season and through the end of last season. Excited to see what he could do in this race here tonight. Lucas Lyon going to start in 7th position with Daniel Cunningham there in 8th. 9th is going to be Charles Stevens, and Kyle Roberts rounds out your top 10. I'm going to tell you what, that top 10 is stout. And you think it stops there? Heck no, it don't. Look here, Tyler Gebben in 11th, Kip Easley in 12th. 13th is Brandon Wallace, and my goodness, Ray Rogers. What are you doing back here, brother? Back in 14th. We'll see him up at the front for too long. Chuck Pegleg-Felt's going to start 15th, and Aaron Adcock, the boss man, in 16th. Josh Logovitz in 17th. Alan Smith in 18th. These guys did not put down a qualifying time. Matt Rogers and Anthony Edgerton going to round out the grid here tonight. Well, what can we expect out of the race tonight? Well, fixed setup, we always know that. 150 laps, a stage break at lap 30. That's going to be the big thing here tonight. Only 20 trucks in the field, so you have time to move around. But those top 5 are going to get those stage points, and I'm going to tell you that those make a big difference once we get down to the end of the race, or the season, excuse me. So you can't really just kind of wait around. If you have any playoff hopes, championship dreams, you know, you've got to get out there and try to get in the top 5 before the end of this thing and get those awesome stage points that will help you move forward in the playoffs as the rounds go on. 4 total tire sets. That means they have 1 on their truck and then 3 in the pit. So gonna be a good one as the trucks are starting to get rolling off right now. Want to tell you about ApexSimRacing.com. Hey, go check them out. Man, they are just an awesome group there with Jimmy over there doing a lot of good work. Just some awesome sim racing products. ApexSimRacing.com. Go check them out. They are a sponsor. They give out a button box to the end of the year to the champion, which I just think is awesome. And we can't appreciate Jimmy enough for letting us use their logos and really just showing off what they got. And so if you got a chance, go over there and check them out. See what they got. Find something that you want to add to that sim rig. High quality products. You can go check that out. I want to thank Premier Racing Setups for sponsoring VSRN this season. So go check them out too. We've had the Goat Locker Truck Series over on Friday, and man, those setups have been really nice. So what do we expect here tonight? Well, I expect the bottom line to be really strong here early, as these trucks can go almost flat out. Usually, so the bottom is going to be the quickest way around. But as the tires start to wear, the big question is, when are you going to move up? Because eventually that top side is going to be dominant. And you don't want to be down on the bottom while the guys are just driving around you on the start. So it's going to be a decision when and where. But right now, we're about to stomp the throttle. Green flag is out here at Bristol. We're going racing here in the Apex E-Series Showdown. All right, well, after the first couple laps, Garrett Kender was able to take over the top spot, and Michael Kostick going to fall in second there. And you can see Kostick in the 4 already up to the top, trying to make that work, with Chris McLean following right behind and trying to set him up. Now, We see guys already trying to defend. Now, what does it mean to run each lane? Whoa, we got some incidents going on, and caution is already out, as it looks like Josh Lokovitz has had some sort of issue along with Anthony Edgerton and the 22 of Tyler Gebbin. So already, Kinder Farm Ranch is going to get some love as we got the Kinder Farm Ranch Wreckage Rewind. We'll go back and see what happened. I don't know where it started. We'll look on with, oh man, 17 of Aaron Adcock down at the bottom. We're watching the 79 of Josh Lokovitz, and it looks like the wreck's already happened. Oh, the 22 spinning across the track. We'll go back just a little bit and see what happened here. This is Tyler Gebbin in that number 22. Oh, Brandon Wallace gets loose on those cold tires right in front of him. And man, look at that as they all come piling in. Go and look on board with him. Watches that red truck just going to get loose, and that's that cold tires. Oh, man, those are hard hits. And then for Josh Lokovitz, he takes a massive hit. And then Anthony Edgerton he's like, I'm jealous. I got FOMO. I want to join the party. So first wreck of the night, not to, I mean, honestly, definitely expected that. I can't say I didn't expect that to happen. So we'll kind of rack them back up, get everybody to calm those pre-race nerves and get calmed down, and we'll get back to racing for sure. A couple guys, well, 3 or 4 of those guys are going to have to use their fast repair. Brandon Wallace already been down on pit road to take his. I would imagine Tyler Gebbin going to have to as well. Josh Lokovitz elected to take a little bit of, looks like he took a repair on pit road, didn't take his fast repair though. So they do have one of those if they get caught up in a wreck. And that's the beautiful part about iRacing, and racing online is probably one of my favorite parts. Is it doesn't cost a dime. You go over there and you wreck somebody, or you get wrecked out of your race, and you know what? You don't have to get mad too early. You go down, your pit crew puts a brand new truck or car on the pit road for you, and you drive off, and you're good to go. So. But talking a little bit about that's the bottom line, kind of gives you a little bit of security early as those tires are a little bit nervous as they get cold. Just like in real life, they have to come up to temperature. You have to work them a good bit. We'll take a look at the weather while we're here, and you can see the track temp's 98 degrees. That's pretty chilly, so it's going to take a little bit for those tires to heat up. So Brandon Wallace really just kind of gets up in that upper groove. Those tires really haven't gotten up to temp just yet. And I think that's why he just ended up going around. But lights are out on the pace truck. Going to get ready to get this thing back green. I would imagine it's going to be a little bit nervous early on, but I think we'll get some green flag racing and get this thing rolling and get some awesome racing. Here we go. Pace truck is off. Green flag is back out. Barney waving it like a madman. Garrett Kinder with another great start. This time, Chris McLean was able to get around Michael Kostick and take over the second spot as he's going to drive deep down off the corner. And you see there Cofield and Tracy Parsons racing side by side. That's for 4th position. And you can see already both lines working pretty good. And that'll be the story of the race, is how well does that top line stand up at the end of these runs, or the bottom. The bottom usually better on tires. But you can see Tracy Parsons is going to struggle. Oh, my goodness, and Michael Kostick goes around. No caution yet as he's able to keep it going. We'll see if Admin throws a caution, but only one driver involved. And Kostick, you can see that smoke. That is the engine expiring. The number 4 goes around. And, man, I'll tell you what, this has been wild. We'll take a look at it real quick. No caution, so we'll get it real quick and then jump back into it. And, yeah, I mean, just gets loose off the exit of the corner, off that top side. And that was enough. So after that, looks like Chris McLean has had some sort of issue, and he has dropped back a few spots. I think we saw him get loose right in front of Michael Kostick. But now Lucas Lyon's going to take over the second spot. Kostick already disconnected as no caution came out. Didn't even try to take the fast repair. He's done. So early exit for the top 5 runner. Michael Kostick gets loose. And, oh, my goodness, look back here. We're almost 3 wide as McLean continues to fall through the field. as those tires wear out and you slide those rear tires one time, those bad boys are not happy anymore. As we got more smoke. I don't know what in the world's going on, but these guys are struggling with these trucks here early. McLean still dropping back. I don't think he got any damage. I think he's just trying to nurse those tires at the moment. We've seen that outside line as you gas it up. You can hear he's waiting on the throttle a lot longer than you normally would, which I think is contributing to him losing so many spots. You hear how he's not getting on throttle until he gets on the front stretch. Once you heat those tires up a little bit too much, you have to let them cool down. You can see he's already loose again as he tries to get back on it, and the number 5 goes around, but no caution. He's going to get it turned back around, but no caution on the speedway. And McLean, he's going to be right in front of the leaders as he gets back on track. There's Garrett Kinder going around him. So McLean self-spins it and goes around. We saw him struggling really, really hard. Like I said, once you heat him up, now he's in big trouble. Once you heat those tires up, it takes so long to get them back going. So I can tell you these guys are really struggling. It looks like Kip Easley has gone around. What's going on here? Hey, y'all quit it. Getting wild out here as these guys are getting loose. So definitely nervous. No cautions coming out. These are all single car incidents, so it makes you nervous. It's almost like the little tire debacles that we've had in real life. You just wonder what the heck's going on. Ratchet Miller says there's no patience. I don't know if it's patience, Ratchet. Everybody looks like they're really struggling here. We see the 13 get loose up off the corner. Let's go on board with Garrett and see what it's like out there. Getting down into the corner. Just wonder if the truck is, I would imagine it's using the iRacing setup, but you just wonder if the truck is not leaning on that right rear a little bit too much because it just doesn't seem like you can put the power down. And he is being so ginger on the throttle. So wild to see this so far. It seems like it's just difficult to do anything around here. I hear somebody hitting the wall. Kyle Roberts hits the wall. He has blown up another one. Bites the dust. That's the most unreal thing I've ever seen. This is unbelievable, y'all. This I've never seen. These are some really great drivers. This is not a good indication of what these driver skills are, but they are really struggling, and you can see Kyle Roberts knocked the whole front end off this thing. We got to get some. We got to throw a caution, red flag, get some speedy dry out here. Something ain't right. And I'm sure it's pretty nerve-wracking when you go around the track and you see smoke every time you go by. So. We got Cofield here. Look at the 53. You can see that front end kind of shimmying a little bit off the corners. He's really struggling to keep that 58 behind him. And it almost seems like, you know, normally you run the bottom for a while, but the way the track and the setup seems to be, you want to be up at the top to find that comfort. Because off the bottom, it seems to be scary. As you see, there goes Jonathan Cofield down to the inside. We'll see if he's able to grab that spot away from Tracy Passons. That outside's got the run that it needs down the straightaway, but the guy's not able to get on the throttle as soon as they normally would be able to. You wonder if that outside line, oh my God, they get close. Oh man. Oh, a caution is out again. This time I don't know who for. Oh, that's the stage. My goodness, it was so wild. I'm not even paying attention to the stage. Well, I'll tell you what, Garrett Kendrick going to take the stage win here in stage number 1, and he is coming down immediately. He could not turn left any faster to come down pit road and get some tires on that number 13 machine, but he's going to be your stage 1 winner with Lucas Lyons in second, Tracy Passes in third, Jonathan Cofield in fourth, and Daniel Cunningham rounds out the top 5. So Cunningham up 3 spots where he started and able to get that final stage point as we watch Garrett Kinder on pit road. I think the way things are going, you probably don't want to really burn them off pit road. Just probably drop the jack and just kind of ease out. See the 84 of Charles Stevens with what looks to be fuel only in that 84 machine. So not real sure about that, but let's get our stage 1 winner in here and talk to him before we go green. Garrett Kinder, this is Andy in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, yeah, guy.
Well, man, hey, look, that was a wild first 30 laps, and honestly, it's a little surprising. Something ain't right. You guys out there, it looks like you're driving. It's like Disney on ice out there. What's going on with that truck?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the setup hadn't been updated or what, but man, it's kind of sketchy. Just loose everywhere. Loose entry if you get on brake. Loose exit if you really have to let that truck completely settle before you ever queue back up. So it's man, it's sketchy.
Well, so how does that change how you drive? It's not as fun. I know it's not. Bristol is just so much fun to get in there and just wheel it around that place. This is obviously a little bit more frustrating, but it puts more power in your hands as a driver. So how are you going to attack these next 120 laps? Carefully.
Good as mine. Carefully, very carefully. Gingerly, just a lot of us going to rely on not having a heavy right foot. I think it kind of acted like it was wanting to push tight late run, especially on entry. But other than that, I mean, it's going to be all about just nailing your exit without killing everybody.
Yeah. Well, you know, as far as bottom and top line, which one have you seemed to prefer the most with the way the truck is driving?
Right now, bottom. I haven't seen where top line is going to come in unless you completely kill your right front, and then you really don't have a choice. I think, you know, when I first started iRacing, it was, you know, top line, just rip the wall and have a great time with it. But now this bottom line is where it's at.
All right, 10-4. Well, hey, congratulations on that stage win. Good luck here.
Appreciate you.
Well, that's all you need to know. Now, Charles Stevens stays out, and it looks like fuel only, and it looks to be a strategy call to save tires. Now, that's going to be tough with the way these trucks are driving. He does get lane choice, so he chooses the outside, which I think is probably a good choice on old tires. Everybody can kind of go around on the bottom because he's definitely going to be a good bit slower. The nervousness, I think, is just, hey, this, you know, how much is he going to fall off, you know, be compared to the four tires? Is it going to be that big a difference? And how loose is that truck where he's going to be nervous and guys are going to want to maybe take 3 wide? So we'll see how he holds up here. Interesting strategy to try to save a set towards the end of the race. We'll see if it pays off, but I think he's really going to have a tough time the next 20 laps. So going to get a great green flag jump here. So he's going to try to separate the front few drivers as they're going to probably catch him pretty quick. Look at the 13 right on his bumper as soon as they come out of turn 2. Down into 3 and 4, you can see the center of the corner is where those 4 tires really matter. And so Garrett Kinder back up front now. Here comes Lucas Lyons down to the inside. And then we're almost going to be 3 wide as Cofield really has nowhere to go at the moment. He's going to be kind of stuck behind the 84 machine. It's frustrating, but there's not much he can do. And Charles has all the right in the world to do what he's doing, especially when there's these limited tire sets. And honestly, Charles doing a great job. Here comes Cofield with a wild move down to the inside, right in front of the 08 of Cunningham. Hopefully he warned him before he did that as caution back out on the speedway. And it looks like Anthony Edgerton and Chris McLean again. He has gone around as looks like some contact is made. Let's take a look. Take a look at the Kinder Farm Ranch Wreckage rewind. You can see the 8 getting to the outside of the 5. He's going to come up the track. See. Come around off the corner. And yeah, I think Chris just kind of self-cleared himself across the 8. So a tough night, tough return race here for Chris McLean, but see if he still has that fast spray. He has not used the fast spray, so he'll be able to go back in pit road and get that truck fixed. Well, man, I'll tell you what, this has been the wildest 40 laps of Bristol I've seen in a while. There's a lot going on, but we're starting to calm down, I hope, a little bit as guys start to feel out the setup. And let me give you an idea of what happened, most likely. I've seen this 100 times. Update comes out for iRacing. They changed some parameters. They changed maybe some tires. They changed the track. Who knows? Maybe they even changed the setup in a little bit too early. Who knows exactly? But something has definitely changed, and the setup has not been updated. We run the fixed setups here at Apex, straight from iRacing. And so we had a big update today to kind of go along with the major rain update from last week. And that can change things. And so far it seems like something is definitely amiss with the setup. But everybody's dealing with the same thing. It's not like your setup is worse than others. So I think you really just need to learn how to manage it. Take this time here early. Learn how to run the truck with the way what it's giving you. Don't try to push it too hard, and only take what you can get. We've already seen some guys really push the limit. So I think take it easy. Try to save those tires. When you come down pit road, really check the spread. Check the right front to the right rear. See what it's doing, and then adjust accordingly with your driving style. So I think once we get moving on, guys will get used to it. And this should clean up a little bit. Or who knows? Maybe we're going to go wild, slip and sliding all the way to the end. I'm for it. I'm here for it either way. Well, we'll take a look on board with Charles Stevens. We haven't really shown the cam just yet, as we just haven't had an opportunity. So taking a look at Charles Stevens here, he's got no tires. You know, he lost a few spots early, but with these caution flags, we'll see just how far he falls back. And if he can maintain this track position and come down pit road with everybody else the next time they take tires, he will have that extra set and be able to. You see he's saving fuel. You can see that RPM gauge all the way down to just above 2,000. So he's right around idle, trying to save as much fuel as possible. They can almost go to the end from here. It's going to be close. About 120, 30 laps on fuel. All right, we're getting ready to go hit green. Back again, and hopefully we can get some green flag racing in here, but we'll see. Garrett Kinder going to start on the inside. He's got Lucas Lyons there on the outside. Garrett Kinder, the leader, has been the safest fella all race long. Now, here we go. Tracy passes Lucas Lyons. Lucas has moved up 4 spots. They almost make contact off the corner. Whoop. Tracy Passons trying to make that bottom work for the moment. Just can't clear Lucas just yet. Lucas, probably one of the best drivers on new tires for sure. He can get every bit. If you got 10 lap stages in your league, I tell you what, Lucas Lyons going to win every single race. He's going to go out to the outside of maybe Garrett Kinder. Now we got a battle for the lead as the 48 goes to the outside. As they cross the backstretch, not the stripe, the 48 does have a nose out in front. He's going to gas it up, and he is going to take over the lead as they cross the stripe. So Lucas Lyons to the front. I told you, if you got 20, 30 lap runs in your league, if you've got a 90 lap race and you got a stage every 30 laps, Lucas Lyons is going to whip your tail every single race. He is extremely fast. He's got a new wheel this past week, so he's got a little bit of encouragement to do well. But we'll see how the tires stack up. Now, Lucas, one of the drivers who will burn them up. He will burn them up quickly. He gets so excited, he gets out front, and he can't help himself. If we can ever rein him back a little bit, he's going to be a dangerous racer. But we'll see if he can hold on to these tires. And, caution is back out. Looks like Kyle Roberts again has gone around. And so caution comes out for the who knows how many times. Take a look, see if we can find out what happened to Mr. Roberts here. Got Chuck Phelps behind him, Chris McLean right in front of him. Chris McLean getting a little bit loose there right in front of him, and he goes down, trying to get to the outside. Oh, Lokovit's going to get a little bit loose right in front of him. Oh, man, and the 35 just goes down to the bottom. He's been running the top that whole time, heating up that right rear, and he goes down to the bottom, and you can just see how unbalanced the setup is. And crazy, we've seen a lot of wrecks, and that was about a half spin brought out the caution. Well, no takers on pit road just yet. They've already, most of them, except for Charles Stevens, has taken their second set of tires. So they are on set number 2. Charles Stevens, who is falling back to 7th after starting on the front row on that last restart, or a couple restarts to go. So all these cautions are kind of working in his favor. because eventually, you know, the next 20, 30 laps, if we get another caution, everybody's going to want to come down pit road, and he can come down. And I mean, he's still up 2 spots from where he started. Come down pit road, and he'll have an extra set at the end of this race. And we've already seen, I mean, just 30 or so laps on the first set of tires, and how big a difference it was. Garrett Kinder ran him down in the first turn. So if he's got that at the end of the race, Charles Stevens, watch out. And the way the cautions are falling, it's likely that it might work out for him. But everybody's still with 2 sets of tires in the pits. We'll take a look at our biggest mover at the moment. That's Alan Smith. Look at him back here in the 9th position. He started in 18th, and he is honestly, keep your truck on the track at the moment. And back here, it's going to be easy to make up some spots. But, you know, Alan really been working on his skill set. You know, he's always been a fast driver. And a long time ago, he was really, really good. He's been sim racing since the mid to late 90s. And has always been really good, but he took a little break, comes back, and just a little bit nervous around folks. You know, as he comes back, you don't race a whole lot. You get around folks, it makes you nervous. He's really been trying to improve that, where he can race around drivers, race close, door to door, and you really have to do that, especially in leagues like this, where it's going to happen constantly. So he has been working on that, and it's been paying off. Last week started on the pole and had a great run at Vegas. 17 gives him a little bump. Tell him to scoot on up there, Placer. But having a good run inside the top 10. All right, doubled up. Lights are out on the pace truck. Lap 54 coming to lap 55. So 100 laps to go here at Bristol. And I feel like there is a lot of action still left to squeeze out of this limit. Lucas Lyon going to lead us down to the green flag. Lucas going to take the top side, going to get a nice jump with Jonathan Cofield, who they're on the team together. I think they worked out a little timing deal as, man, what a great start that they had. Garrett Kinder, though, fighting hard on the inside to try to keep that second position, and slides right up in front of Cofield. Cofield kind of didn't really know where he was going to go and almost gave him a blumper, but a little bit too early maybe for that. Mark Cofield said, what happened to Caustic, man? He spun out, hit the wall early in the race, and the engine blew, and no caution came out. That's pretty much a race ender, so he called it quits. Definitely disappointed, but he's in the playoffs. He's locked in with that win, so could be a whole lot worse. Lucas Lyon doing a great job out front, holding on to that top spot at the moment. See, he's right up against the wall on entry, then dives up off the corner, getting a nice run. Now that's really heavy on the right front and the right rear, so that should wear the tires out pretty quickly. But they've got about 27. Ooh, as we got a caution out. Ooh, it looks like the 17 of Aaron Adcock with damage. Brandon Wallace involved. Chuck Phelps made some contact there, so yet another caution. Kinder Farm Ranch Wreckage Rewind. Let's see if we can see what happened to the 17 machine. There's all 3 of those guys right there watching here with the 17. And I'm willing to bet he just got a little bit loose. What do you say? Look down into the corner. Gassing it up. Truck looks good for now. We'll see. It should be right here in this corner. Yeah, just the same thing we've seen. Man, Brandon Wallace locks him down. Chuck Phelps gets a little bit of tap from that. On board with Chuck Phelps here and watch it all happen. Oh man, frustrating. Brandon Wallace with nowhere to go. Makes some contact. Brandon Wallace has already used his fast repair, so it doesn't look like he got too much damage out of it. But it still makes you nervous. You don't want that to be happening. All right, well, a lot of folks come down pit road. Funny enough, though, Lucas Lyon, Kip Easley, Tyler Gebbin, and Chris McLean stay out on 30-lap old tires. That's a wild, wild decision. Actually, Tyler Gebbin says, you know what? I do not like this at all. He comes down pit road. Pit road has already happened while we were going through the replay, but everybody comes down pit road. Cofield going to be the first one on fresh tires. Garrett Kinder actually loses. Oh, Cofield actually comes down for fuel only. Oh, okay. Excuse me. Jonathan Cofield, Daniel Cunningham, Ray Rogers comes down for just fuel only. So Garrett Kinder back here in 7th position. He is going to be the first driver on new tires again. So that leaves him just one set of tires left in this race, and we're not even halfway. So interesting call, decisions here by the drivers. Tracy Passons takes 4 tires, Christian Dedman takes 4 tires, and Charles Stevens comes in and takes his second set of tires. And it looks like Matt Rogers came in and took tires as well, or some damage, fixed one or the other. But those 3 drivers, Kinder, Passons, and Dedman, and Stevens, well, no, Kinder, Passons, and Dedman, they are down to just 1 set. So interesting decision to come down when they did. We'll see if that plays out, but that's got to make you nervous if you're those 3 drivers. We'll be curious to see. I'm not going to pull them up here and ask them what their strategy is, but be curious to see if they meant to do that or if there's some other strategy involved, or they're maybe just considering that there might be some green flag racing, which I'd be surprised. But if we get a long green flag run here, if we go green to the end, Garrett Kinder's going to win this race. So I can see where it's hard to say either way. So we'll see who comes out on top. Right now, Lucas with the lead. And everybody back to 7th place is on older tires, about 32 laps. Pace truck pulls off. Lucas Lyons on the outside is going to have control of the restart. Gives a little countdown to his teammate, Jonathan Cofield, and they take control of first and second. Back here is where the mess is going to be. As, like I said, you've got fresh tires back here. Tracy Passons is going to be the first one now on fresh tires. He is gassing it up on the outside. And, man, look at the run he's able to get on the outside of Ray Rogers. Now it's going to put some pressure, trying to go to the outside of McLean. Not quite able to get there just yet, but probably going to go down to the inside here. You can see he's got so much more pedal than these guys in front of him. This is his teammate, Chris McLean, out in front of him, so he's going to take a little bit of extra time. Don't put your teammate in bad positions. But he was able to pick up quite a few spots there early, but now has started to just back him down just a little bit. Up front, Cofield starting to peek in. Oh, my goodness, Ray Rogers has gone around. Boy, you know it is tough out there when you got Ray Rogers turning that 51 around. And, oh, he's going to come up onto the track, and he is almost going a lap down here. He's going to have to hustle. But Ray Rogers goes around. And I'm going to tell you that if that don't tell you how loose these bad boys are, that's all you need to know. Now, Ray Rogers, I don't think I've ever seen him spin out on his own. I don't know if he got help or not, but I didn't see any contact. Oh, my goodness, Aaron Adcock makes more contact than him and Josh Lokovitz all wadded up back here. What is going on here? Take a look at this replay. Like Josh Lokovitz spins out on his own, and then Aaron Adcock spins out at the exact same spot. Didn't want Lokovitz to be by himself, I guess. So, man, I don't even know. I guess I'm going to stop showing these half spins. It's getting a little redundant at this point, but, man, it looks like it is tough. Now, I'm a little surprised to see that the 53 has not – oh, my goodness. The 53 really hasn't moved up closer to the front at the moment. So, they had to have taken 4 tires. They were on pit road for 14 seconds. Tracy going to take over the 4th position from Kip Easley. Going to slide up in front of him. We saw him about slide up into Kip Easley there. And Chris McLean right in front of him. We'll check in on Chuck Phelps, who had made some contact there early. But you can see just frustration on his face. I can't imagine trying to race like this has got to be so frustrating. Especially if you practiced earlier in the week, and you can honestly see the pain in his face as he is trying to get this thing around the track. Now, he may have a little bit of damage from that contact. He did not take his fast repair. But you see he's right around the bottom, and you can listen. He's giving it a little bit of throttle on exit. Man, Ray Rogers, oh my goodness, and Lucas Lyons involved. As caution is out. As Ray Rogers and Lucas Lyons make contact, and we've got another caution. We saw Ray Rogers go around, and he is fighting to stay on the lead lap here. And I don't know if Ray got loose or if there was some contact made here. We'll see right here on the replay. Oh, and Ray just gets loose again right in front of the leader. So Lucas Lyons, oh my goodness, cover your eyes. That's rated TVMA right there as they go inside of each other. And man, Lucas Lyons, your leader, has damage on the front end of that thing. Watch on board with Ray Rogers and just watch how quickly it happens. Like driving on ice. And you just see, he didn't even really give it. I'm going to back it up here and slow it down for you. Because he's really not even giving it throttle at this point. Right here. You can see the steering wheel. He knows he's in trouble, and he is trying to do all that he can, but that thing is just like he's driving on ice. And my goodness. Now, Ray Rogers down on pit road, likely going to, looks like he's fixing the damage. I don't know if he's going to try to get a fast repair. He's now 4 laps down. So he had a fast repair, but he's not using it. So I'm not real sure if that was a mistake. Maybe had it unchecked. But my goodness, wild race. Lucas Lyons comes down pit road, gets 4 tires. Fuel Cofield does as well. Chris McLean comes down, takes 4 tires as well as Cunningham easily. And that's your top 12. Now these drivers right here have come down about 20 laps ago. They've only got just a few laps under green though, and so Kinder, Tracy, Garrett, Charles, and Alan Smith, along with Christian Dedman, Brandon Wallace, and Matt Rogers, all on the same set of tires. So this is getting interesting, man. I mean, Garrett Kinder, Tracy Passons, they really need to run a little bit longer, which I think is why they were taking it so easy there on that restart. They only have the 1 set. We talked a little bit about that. Now everybody else behind them, except for Charles Stevens, has 1 set remaining. So at the moment, and it looks like Alan Smith may have taken 2 tires on that last pit stop. So everybody pretty much in the top on the lead lap is down to and I'm looking down the list just to try to confirm. Yeah, iRacing doesn't really track how many tires you take. You really just have to guess here. So if I'm looking down the list, I would imagine everybody is got the 1 set remaining except for Charles Stevens. There may be one person that I missed, but all the people we've talked about so far, that should be the case. So Charles Stevens, I mean, it's kind of worked out in his favor. As he should still have 2 sets of tires. Now he's up front. As they get ready to go back green here, Tracy, the field kind of bottles up a little bit. But Tracy going to be able to get clear of those drivers. Garrett Kinder as well, and Charles Stevens now fighting with Alan Smith on the outside. Alan going to go around him. And Charles really struggling there on the bottom. To keep that thing going, but whatever, I don't know if it's the bottom line or Charles just trying to take it easy. but he dropped like a rock here early in this run. Now the first set of tires is that 48 of Lucas Lyon here. As we watch on board, he really has nowhere to go. This whole lane's being blocked by the 2 guys racing in front of him. He knows he's got the tires, but they don't have the room. And I just can't imagine going 3 wide. At any point, my goodness, Charles Stevens gets loose. That's going to open the door for Chris McLean to go around Lucas, and now Kip Easley gets to the outside. Man, what some crazy racing. I don't know if it feels like it's good, but it honestly feels like these guys are just hanging on for dear life as they're just doing the best they can. As here comes Chris McLean. He's on that new set of tires. Try to slide up in front of Brandon Wallace. Oh, my goodness. Man, these guys are making me nervous as all get out. On board, Brandon Wallace here. See Kip Easley in the 3-Chi number 8. Goes around him on the inside. Here comes Lucas Lyons. And I can tell you, if you can hear the throttle inputs, you look on here, and it is so weird to see as Cofield goes around Brandon Wallace. But normally right here, you're back on throttle. You're full throttle. But you can hear he is not full throttle till right here. It's almost like they're on a dirt track. You drive down the corner and then right back on the throttle. And you can see he can't do it. So loose. See, Lokovitz has had a little incident. Oh, my goodness, somebody up in the wall. That's, oh, my goodness, a 58. Oh, my God, what a save. Does he save it? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. No caution, though, as he makes contact with, like, I don't even know who that was. But we saw it. We'll go take you through the replay real quick and go back and watch as Cofield gets out of shape trying to keep up with the 48, trying to move up through the field. See him down there in that white and black truck down on the inside. You can see almost 3 wide, and that's where the issue happened. And boy, what a great job of saving it. Brandon Wallace, and he is trying. He's doing all that he can. Makes a little contact, and oh, Matt Rogers, nowhere to go. On board with Matt Rogers here is, you can just see how floaty their steering wheels are. Just look how big of an issue he's having himself. He's trying to slow up, and oh, at the last minute, just nowhere to go. And we are under caution. It looks like while I was reviewing that, looks like Brandon Wallace has made some contact. Trying to see what happened. Looks like there was a wreck right in front of him. Oh man, Chris McLean has gone around. That's where it all started. That was right in front of Lucas. Oh, Alan Smith's going to get into the wall. Pushes up the track, and Christian Dedman's going to get a little bit of it. On board with Alan Smith. Watch, he's going to get tight here. Tap that wall, and once it does, it bounces him off the outside wall, and then him and Chris McLean just trading blows. Lord have mercy, this is crazy. You know, think back to a lot of real-world examples about this where, you know, you think about, I believe it was Daytona. I think it was a Daytona 500 where, and I'm sure somebody in chat can correct me on this. My memory's pretty hazy on some of these details, but I believe it was a Daytona 500 where they all went into the corner. It was raining in turn 1 only. And they go down to the corner, and everybody just wrecks as the track was just unbelievably slick. I believe there was a Winston or something where it was also the same way, and they allowed them to get backup cars out because they let them ride out in the rain. So this feels very similar to something like that, or a tire issue where Goodyear brings a tire that it's really bad. I know Formula One had a tire issue one time, I believe, in Formula One or Indy, where the degradation was so bad they had to pit after just a few laps of running. This feels a lot like that, so. Well, I'll tell you what, this has been a crazy race. You know, I think there'll be some folks that'll be upset about this, but honestly, there's nothing anybody can do. You know, admins can't prepare for stuff like this. It's part of it. And I think, you know, at this moment, you're just trying to survive. You're just trying to make sure that you're not the one that goes down the corner and slides and loses the front end or loses the rear end. You know, racing has shown to be very difficult, trying to make passes. So, I mean, look right here. I mean, I don't know what's going on. We are about a football field back from the pace truck. So, don't know if that's intentional or what. You can't even see the pace truck on the track here as Tracy Passon really holding the field up here. I don't think there's a penalty or anything inside iRacing that says you can't do this. Pace truck, though, pulls off. Tracy Patson's going to have control of the restart. Gets a good jump. Garrett Kinder would love to just kind of slot there behind him. And there's Lucas Lyons still in this thing. Dude's been through it. He's still ready to race as Kip Beasley is now joining the fray up at the front. I believe Lucas Lyons is on fresher tires, about 20 lap fresher tires than the ones up front. And now he goes down to the inside. We're almost 3 wide for second place. Kip Beasley backside of it. I think that was a smart move. Now he's going to look down to the inside. And both these drivers have about 20 or so lap fresher tires than Garrett Kinder, so they should be able to get around him without much issue. As Garrett and Tracy still trying to nurse that next to last set of tires before they come down and have to take their last one. They want to save it as long as they possibly can. If they can stay up near the front, it makes those tires even more valuable. So you want to hold that track position as much as you can, but you can see Garrett Kinder there get a little bit loose off the corner. You don't want to do that. Now, up front, Lucas has started to close in on Tracy Parsons. Going to look down the inside. Should make quick work of the 53. 53 going to fight back, though. Got one in the wall. Looks like Christian Dedman has made contact with the wall, but will stay here on the lead unless a caution comes out. As Tracy is going to fight him. Tracy passes not. Oh, Lucas Lyons going to blink out, and he comes back. That's from the old days. That looks like a lag switch where you hit your modem. Back in the day, if you're an old sim racer, internet has changed so much over the years, and back in the day, you could actually sit your modem next to you, and if a wreck happened at Daytona, Talladega, you could hit you could hit the little standby button on your gateway or router, click it on, click it off as you drove through the wreck, and not be involved. That's kind of what that looked like. If you know, you know. Well, Lucas Lyons takes those fresh tires out front. Now here's where the big battles are. Back here in 6th, 7th, and 8th position. Charles Stevens battling with the 08 of Daniel Cunningham, and you can see just how difficult it is to pass. Charles Stevens with the freshest tires out of the bunch, but just not able to do anything with it. Oh, and he's going to get loose in the 58. Oh, a save by Charles Stevens. Oh, man. Wow, that was amazing as he is able to hold on to it. He got loose, saved it, then got a bump from the 58, and did a little 2-foot smash to try to hang on to that thing. That was impressive stuff by Charles Stevens. Way to go, Charles. That was awesome. You know, if Apex had a moment of the race, that was going to be it. That was a great save by the 84. He falls back to 8th, and Brandon Wall is all over him now. Trying to hang on to that 84 machine. He's hoping for a caution right about now so he can come down and get another set of tires, and he'll still have that extra set. So he would love to see a caution right now. He just doesn't want to be it. starting to get a little bit of room here to breathe. And so he's going to get his sights set back on the top 5 here, which, like I said, has been sort of the hotbed of action as Cofield's been able to get around all these drivers. And now we're watching as Daniel Cunningham is battling with Kip Easley, with Tyler Gibbon on fresh tires right behind him. Tyler Gibbon, we saw him down at the inside wall, lost all of the whole front clip of this thing. And he's back in it, getting ready to battle for a top 5. Cofield now to the inside. Cofield's on pretty old tires, man. Whew, makes a wild move to complete that pass. Oh, Cofield is not. Sorry, excuse me. Cofield is on 20-lap old tires. Garrett Kinder right now driving on 57-lap old tires. If we go to the green, go green to the end, I'm sure they'll be surprised as hell. But Lucas Lyon out here out front. Nobody really to worry about at the moment. Got pretty clean track. You see a car up there about a little over a straightaway. Well, you can see even Lucas not having an easy time as he's out front with these fresh. Well, he doesn't have the freshest tires. Jonathan Cofield behind him is the one that's got him, and he's coming fast. Cofield about 3/10 faster that last lap, and ooh, caution is down. Oh my goodness, as Christian Edmond almost comes up, backs out on the track as him and Tony Edgerton make some contact, it looks like. So another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage rewind as we are really putting them. They're getting some good old screen time here tonight. What a good time. Oh, Christian Edmond just gets loose right in front of Chuck Felt's going to slide down, trying to mill. Oh my goodness. And then Ray Rogers involved again, and then Tony Edgerton gets spun out by somebody. That's Alan Smith. These wrecks are multi-layered, I'll tell you. Let's go on board with Dedman as we watch just how close he got to that those barrels on pit road. And the turn before he almost wrecked. So he's going to go down with those heated tires, and you can see he's just coming around. And right here, look how close he's going to hit those barrels. Woo! Comes back on the track. Ray Rogers nowhere to go, and Alan Smith trying to avoid the wreck gets into Tony Edgerton, and they both go sliding around. Look at that. Dedman almost backs out into the second place driver. So I think if Charles Stevens, you're coming down pit road to take those tires, and he definitely did. Comes out right here. Kip Easley comes out right behind him. So I believe that Charles Stevens still has a set of tires. And at this point, unfortunately, because I don't get to see how many tires they have left. Maybe one day, iRacing will allow me that kind of information. That'd be great. But at this point, I have no idea. I know that Cofield and Alan Smith are going to be running 1-2. Alan Smith on 24-lap old tires, so he made contact there on that last incident. Jonathan Cofield was in a great spot if that caution didn't come out. He was going to be moving pretty quickly towards Lucas, I believe, but now he's got the oldest tires on the track. Now, 27 laps, not the worst that we've seen, but we've seen new tires really eat 30-lap old tires up, so we'll see. Majority of them have been green flag laps, so I think they'll be in. I don't think they'll be struggling here early for sure. But if we get a long string of cautions, that could alleviate that problem. But right now, Lucas, Garrett Kinder, the first two on 4 tires, and you got Tracy Passons, Cunningham, Tyler Gibbon, Charles Stevens, the next few on fresh tires. So I think everybody came down knowing that 25 laps to go, that'll go by pretty quick. You want to be on the freshest tires you can as we do get the 1 to green here. I think Cofield knows what he needs to do. He doesn't need to have any teamwork. He doesn't need to work with anybody. He needs to send a little prayer over to Alan Smith and say, hey, hold these guys up as much as you can. I'm going to try to get the best jump I can get. He picks the outside, which is going to give him a great launch down into turn 1. He's going to try to set sail and put as much space between him and that 13 as he can. Here we go. Lap 126 here at Bristol. Who's going to come away with the victory? Cofield's going to have the jump, but I tell you what, Garrett Kinder gets a great restart there on the outside, and he's going to look to the inside almost immediately, and here comes Garrett Kinder. Down on the inside is Alan Smith. They're almost going 3 wide on here. Here comes Lucas Lyons and Daniel Cunningham as the 58 battling hard to try to hold off that 13 machine. The 13 trying to get it done as soon as he possibly can, but you can see how the top side, when done properly, is almost impossible to make the move. Garrett Kinder not quite able to make it happen. Here comes Lucas Lyon to join the battle. Garrett going to jump up in line. He knows he does not want to get stuck there on the bottom. He wants to try to use the run off the top side. Here he goes. He's got to run. What's he going to take it? He is. Down on the bottom. Going to gas it up. He's not going to be able to clear the 58, so the 48 will likely fill the gap if he's not able to complete the pass down into 3 and 4. 1 and 2. Lucas now on the back bumper of the 13. Which lane does he choose? He's obviously going to try to ride behind the 13, knowing that the fresh tires will eventually prevail. Oh, the 13. You can see how yawed out he was in the middle of the corner. Lucas in the best spot right here because the 13 having to work way harder than he is. Lucas can kind of just hang back, take it easy, let the 13 burn his stuff up while he waits on this to kind of settle it out. 13 almost pulled in front of the 58. 58 checks up just a little bit. Cofield not going to go wide. The 13 should be able to clear him. We'll see if he does. He does. So Garrett Kinder back up to the lead as Cofield continues on those old tires. He's really struggling at the moment. I think the wind, assuming the 13 can keep the tires under him, the wind's going to be out of the question. Just how far does the 58 drop? Lucas Lyon down to the inside. That's Brandon Wallace. He is, oh, that's the 08 of Daniel Cunningham, excuse me. Down to the inside. He's also on fresh tires. So Cofield falling back quickly. Alan Smith, who started out or inside the front row, he is all the way back to 11th on those old tires. As Daniel Cunningham really leans on that 58, trying to make that pass. We're clicking them off. Just 15 laps to go here at Bristol as we watch this battle for third place. Lucas about a half second back from your leader. Can he close the gap? He ran about the same lap time last time by, so not quite able to gain anything just yet. Let's go on board with Lucas as he tries to run down your leader. You see they're running similar lines. They're driving up the track and then driving straight down off the exit to minimize how much they're leaning on that right rear, putting a lot of pressure on it that heats it up. And you can see Lucas coming off the corner right here. You see how light that truck is. The steering wheel goes to the right as the truck just unloads. You can see he is really sliding the rears. He is dangerously close to spinning out there. I can't tell you how close. He's sliding the rears right there. I can hear him. Not sure if he's going to have what it takes to get him. But right here, Cofield, man, just so disappointed, I'm sure, about how everything kind of played out. He was so fast. It worked his way up to the front. Now just dropping like a rock, like a Chevy. Tracy Passon's moved up into the 4th position. He's got a ways to go to catch up to Cunningham. Tyler Gebbin in there in that 5th position. He has really done a great job of coming back as Tracy Passon, I think, made contact with the wall there. Up front, Garrett Kinder was a little bit faster that lap, so we kind of stay back here and watch some of these battles. As everybody's starting to get spread out, honestly, so go back up front. Garrett Kinder with the lead. And honestly, the way that things are going right now, these are the most nervous. If this is normal Bristol in the trucks, Garrett Kinder's in great shape. He's not nervous at all. Doesn't have to worry about anything. He would win this race for sure. But the way this truck has been handling, the way the tires have been reacting, we've seen some guys just almost lose it And it seemed like they weren't even aware it was happening. So the 13's got to be careful. He's starting to pull away a little bit as Lucas is really struggling to keep up. But you got to be careful that you don't, get loose or get sideways. So the 13 going to have to think of it like a dirt track and just work that throttle. Don't push it all the way down coming off the straightaway, but give it like 75, 80% throttle, which Garrett Kinder very good on dirt, so he knows exactly how to do that. But just 4 laps to go here at Bristol. Can he survive? Lucas Lyons falling back here as he's run out of rear tires. It looks like he was super loose quite a few times. Now Garrett Kinder got a big enough gap that I think he's going to be all right. Now just hoping that there's not going to be a caution. Come see the white flag, get this thing over with, and get the victory lane. It looks like coming off a turn number 4, the 13. Barney's got the white flag in hand. White flag is out for Garrett Kinder here at Bristol. Does he have what it takes? He's got some lap traffic out in front of him. Is that going to affect him? 1.1 seconds is the gap into 3 and 4. I don't see any lap traffic. Going to come down off the corner. And Garrett Kinder, he is going to survive and win here at Bristol. My. Woo! There he is, Garrett Kinder, your race winner. Kinder Farm and Ranch Big Frig Ford F-150 takes the victory on what was a hard-fought race. A lot of comers and goers, a lot of different strategy, but I got a stage winner and a race winner all in one. He's burning them down. I bet those tires, the way this setup is, does really good burnouts, and he is showing us how it's done as he's celebrating the win here out on track. Po-Man gets the victory here tonight. 62 laps led for Garrett Kinder. Just an incredible show. What a great burnout, man, yeah. Lord of mercy, can't even see him. I can't find a cam that can see him up close, but man, what a great show. And Garrett Kinder is going to take the victory here at Bristol. Well, let's take a look at your results, and well, heck, we'll see where everybody finished here. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk to these drivers here at the end of this thing. Garrett Kinder, you say 8 cautions, 9 lead changes. The Garrett Kinder going to take the win here tonight at Bristol. Started on pole, won the stage, won the race. That's how it's done right there. I talked a little bit before the race about how he was so far down on points, just had some really bad luck, and he needed that win to get himself back in the conversation quickly. And hey, he did it tonight. Ain't no doubt about that. Lucas Lyon, a great effort by him. Kind of really struggled there at the end trying to run down the 13, but a great finish there in second spot. Daniel Cunningham comes home in third, started in 8th. A quiet run out of him, but I think he just did a great job of staying out of trouble, making the right calls, and it rewarded him with a podium finish. Tracy Passons comes home in 4th. Tyler Gevin with that 5th place position. Charles Stevens had that extra set of tires, never got the opportunity to use them. He's going to come home in 6th, though. Can't beat that. Skip Easley, one of the biggest movers in the race, comes home in the 7th position. Jonathan Cofield, just wondering if that caution didn't come out, what would have been. He comes home in 8th. Brandon Wallace in 9th, and Josh Lokovitz survives a couple wrecks and comes back to a 10th place finish. 11th going to be Chuck Phelps. Alan Smith in 12th. He's going to be the last car on the lead lap. Christian Devin in 13th, 1 lap down. Anthony Edgerton in 14th, 1 lap down. Matt Rogers in 15th. Kyle Roberts in 16th. Ray Rogers in 17th. Chris McLean in 18th. 19th is going to be Aaron Adcock, and rounding out the field who cut loose after about 10 laps after a wreck, Michael Kostick in 20th. Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a little break. Let's thank our sponsors, and we'll be right back for some interviews, and we'll talk to these drivers. All right, we're back. Let's talk to our top three finisher. We're going to start with the winner, Garrett Kinder. Woo! Well, I tell you what, that was a wild one. But man, you as much as went on in that race, it looks like you never really had to fight for it. As you started on the pole, you won the first stage and you won the race. But there is a lot in between of those things that happened
Yeah.
that you had to overcome to get the win. But you're able to get it done there at the end with those fresh tires, able to hold off Lucas Line and get the dub here at Bristol. Man, tell me everything. I want to know all about that race. Tell me it all.
Well, man, I guess I kind of lied to you whenever you after that stage break. I thought bottom was going to be the way to go, and then Luke's ended up blowing my doors off on the top side on a restart. So, kind of made me start thinking, hey, there's something up there. So, I had a little bit of a gap, I think, behind him, and then back to Tracy. So I started playing around with it in the middle of a run, just trying to see if I could get used to the feel of it. And man, it hooked. Tracy started getting loose, so I was able to get back by him, get up to second, and then I guess Cofield had burned his last set of tires. Stayed out, and even with him staying out on, I think it was 20 lap old tires. I mean, he was still. It wasn't anything light to pass him. Uh, it's really difficult to pass on the bottom, even on fresh tires. But got it done, and luckily Lucas got held up enough, and I think had to burn his stuff up enough getting around him that we just kind of ran away with it. Fought loose all night, so that was a lot of fun getting the baby the throttle around and try not to blow the rears off of it.
Yeah, and we were. I was just kind of fumbling around trying to decide how to describe how this thing is driving based on what I see, but I almost akin it to a dirt race towards the end there because you really couldn't get on the throttle till maybe you're even halfway down the straightaway, kind of like you do at dirt. You kind of
Yeah.
just have to give it about 80% throttle just to get the tires as much traction, but not let them break loose. Is that kind of what you were seeing out there?
Somewhat. Kind of late run. I was able to back it up enough because I didn't have anybody right behind me that I could get to about 50% throttle at the midway point, and then just basically roll it up to 100% by about the time I hit the start finish line. So you're not too far off there, but definitely having to roll it. Couldn't just if you stamped on it, it was hostile. Bye bye. See you later.
Yeah, hasta lasagna, don't get any on you, man. That's
That's
what I'm
right.
talking about. It was man, it was a wild show. A lot of wrecks, a lot of incidents, and survival is sort of the key in issues like this and adaptation. So, I think that you're very adaptable. I talked plenty of times about how well versed you are at multiple different disciplines. I mean, you put you in a Legends car, you'll kick everybody's butt. You put him in a pro truck, he'll kick everybody's butt. On a dirt car, he can really hold his own. You put him in an asphalt oval machine, he does great. I mean, it helps. How big a deal is it to be adaptable whenever you come into a race like this where something's just not right? It's not like you think it should be, and you have to change and work it out. How important is it to be adaptable in a situation like this?
Oh, it's huge. I credit a lot to it to the dirt road racing stuff, the Pro 4 trucks, the rally cross cars that we've got here on the service, and it did kind of feel like that. It was really floaty. So you go into those corners with the rally cars or something that you just kind of floated in there and then wait for traction to pick up and then you can start rolling back in throttle. And it was a lot of that tonight. So yeah, I credit a lot to it of just being kind of a multidiscipline kind of racer and at least having some halfway decent luck at most of it.
Yeah, well, man, congratulations on a fantastic race. That is a way to do it. I mean, Kinder Farmer Ranch going to put the truck into victory lane, and they got plenty of action on the Kinder Farmer Ranch Wreckage Rewind.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
man, tell me who you got to thank, who you got to thank that helps you win the race tonight.
First and foremost, got the new addition to the list. Thank my beautiful wife who lets me do these races on Thursdays and Sundays and kind of whenever else I want to and doesn't give me the stink eye too much. I got to thank Kinder Farm and Ranch and Ratchet Speed Shop. Been with me since day one, so absolute love for those guys, and they're just a blast. They've already been texting me and telling me, hell yeah, good job and all that good stuff. So shout out to them. Big freaking Cross 5 cattle coolers. If you want to keep your stuff hot and keep your stuff cold for cheaper and longer than anybody else, please check out Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers at bigfrig.com. Ray Page and Andy over at Wolfpack Racing. They're just, I mean, great guys all the way around. I've told you enough before. Um, who else I got? Oh, my guys over at Reaper, Poman Motorsports, Velocity Motorsports, the short tracking end of things. Of course, all of our sponsors here at Apex. Of course, it's Jimmy over at Apex Sim Racing. If you need any kind of button boxes, steering wheels, light switches for your house, anything like that, go hit up Jimmy at Apex Sim Racing. Uh, Great quality stuff. I got one of his button boxes and absolutely love it. American Grid Apparel Company, American Grit Apparel Company. There we go. Chuck Phelps for the Pole Award, Low Cash Motorsports, of course, Kinder Farm and Ranch again for the Record Rewind, and they were busy tonight. And all the guys over at Pole, man, just thank you up at V Speed. Love going back and watching these things, and I'm gonna soak this one in for a little bit.
There you go. Well, go enjoy it, man. First win of the season. You've been kind of down on the point standings, but this is a good way to jump right up to the top. So congratulations, Garrett.
I appreciate you.
All right. Well, let's bring our second place finisher in here, and that is Lucas Lyons, who, man, he had a wild race. It was, but a lot of it up front, and I think that's where it paid off. Lucas tonight was an oddity. It was a very weird race. The setup, the track, the truck just did not seem to work together tonight, as everybody was sliding all over the place. But you were sliding all over the place, but you were able to hang on to it. And there at the end, just came up a little bit short. Talk a little bit about that race. What were you struggling with? And talk a little bit about that, the way the truck was driving here tonight.
I'm pretty sure you said it best on broadcast. If you give me 30 laps, I'll probably be the fastest truck out there. But on lap 31, I'll probably be the slowest. Saving tires was probably a pretty big deal. I saved a little bit better switching wheels. I know you brought that up on the broadcast also, but when you're on fresh tires trying to pass other trucks, it's basically you have to wait for them to make a mistake in front of you. A bunch of people were struggling with corner exit getting loose and stuff like that. I was actually struggling with corner entry on getting loose. So it was a fun race in the second half, but I felt like Clean Air was probably the best place to be.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about that entry. Now, normally at this track, you drive down the corner, you give it a little bit of trail brake to kind of help set the truck. Do you think that's where guys were getting in trouble? We saw a lot of guys get loose on entry with the way the truck was handling, going down to the corner, trying to trail brake like you normally do. Just give it that little bit of brake to help set the truck. Do you think that's what was doing it with the weight transfer on the rear tires?
Honestly, I'm not sure because that's what I was kind of doing all race long, and I really didn't seem to have an issue with it. They might have had their brake bias too far back. I honestly don't know. The setup was really weird in my opinion. It really wore the left front and the right rear, and the right front and the left rear were kind of similar from my experience with the wear and all that. It kind of felt like a next gen, if that makes any sense. But it was a lot of fun coming back through the field. But I just wish I was a little bit closer to Kinder there at the end.
Yeah, well, hey, a great race. I mean, you were involved in some stuff, and you're able to keep the car straight or truck and keep it on the track. And there at the end, you gave it all you had. We started to see you get really loose there at the end, and you decided to try to nurse it to the finish. So congratulations, man, on second place. Who do you got to thank? Any sponsor shout outs?
I want to thank Southeast Tutoring. I want to thank Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Cofield Supply and Service, Honor Home Loans, Stark Fusion Systems, Fearless Creations, all the sponsors over here at Apex. I want to thank 213 Simware. I want to thank SM Racing Products. If you use code LucasLyons at checkout, you can save 15% off. I want to thank Gaming Chef. I want to thank E-Racing Designs. I want to thank you for putting this on, and everyone who tunes in each week. I just wish I kept the Bandits win streak kind of going for 3 in a row, but I just fell a little short.
All right, well, there you have it. Lucas Lyons, second place finisher here tonight. Had a great run, and I think he showed. He showed that he's not just a short run guy. He was able to keep that truck going straight and be fast at the end. Let's talk to our third place finisher. We'll get out of here. And Daniel Cunningham had probably the quietest third place that I've seen in a while. And while it seemed like you're that meme of that dog or whatever with all the fire going on around you, as this race was just wild. Trucks all over the place, but you somehow stayed out of the trouble and were able to be there at the end. How did you do it? How did you get away with a clean truck and come home with a third place finish?
that dark cloud that's kind of been hanging around me for the first 3 races of the season that led me to running a Target truck tonight. I gave it a big middle finger before the race started and told it to leave me alone tonight. So I guess it actually listened. It's kind of nice to just have a quiet night and have a good points run. I mean, I know I had top tens in the first 2 races, but had wrecks on the last lap, and then last week was last week. So, uh, yeah, I mean, Cofield had his one spin right in front of me, and I thought that was a Code Brown moment. And then there was another one, I can't remember who it was now. I think it was the 5 or somebody that spun right in front of me, and I thought they were going to clip me in the right rear and send me to see Dale, but I just kept my foot in it and got lucky tonight. So definitely helps make up for the last few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you put a target on your car and everybody just keeps missing you. You're almost like it's almost like you were Hurricane Daniel. You're the eye of the storm where it's calm and nothing's going on. Everything around you just a damn mess, and you're able to avoid it and come away with a third place finish. Talk a little bit about the truck. I'm trying to get a good feel from all the drivers I've been talking to, just how wild it was, because we've seen some of the best drivers in this series. I mean, self spin and just take themselves out. What from your opinion, what do you think was the issue here tonight?
It's just how loose it got, and it wasn't really consistently loose either. It was a little unpredictable at times. Bristol's one of my favorite tracks. I absolutely love this place, and this was probably, I mean, it wasn't anything like I've ever driven Bristol before. Most of the time I'd kind of wrap the bottom and stay patient and try to hope for a little bit better long run speed, but it seemed like the more that you tried to run the bottom tonight, the more it drove off the right rear and just kept getting loose. But even running the top side and trying to drive it off the right front, it's still every pit stop I made, the right rear was more worn. So then if you're trying to drive it off the right front, you got a little more wheel cranked into it. There would just be times where it would just randomly spin, or almost kind of like some next gen stuff. If somebody in front of you got a little loose, you hit their wake, it would feel like somebody tried to punt you. So yeah, I mean, it was challenging. I still thought it was fun. I still, enjoyed the track, enjoyed running it, but it was definitely a lot different than any other Bristol race I've run.
Well, man, congratulations on a third place finish. It was a lot of fun to watch you kind of sneak up in there and just keep that truck clean and dodge all the mess and come away with a third place finish. So congratulations, kind of break that bad streak, get that monkey off your back, and move on. It's funny how that kind of works in sim racing. You feel like just, oh my gosh, every time I get on track, I'm getting taken out. And you have that one good race that kind of boosts you up and kind of move you forward. So congratulations on that. Congratulations on third place finish. Who you got to thank?
I appreciate you doing the broadcast, and Aaron and all the admins for the work that they put in. Appreciate all my teammates over at Bandits, and especially Cofield threw together the Oregon Duck Hunter target scheme tonight. So appreciate him throwing that together, letting me run it. Yeah, just thanks everyone and all of our league sponsors.
All right. Well, there you have it. Third place finisher, Daniel Cunningham, who, like I said, just a fantastic way to finish this thing off. Well, here we are. Oh, excuse me. Well, here we are at the end of this thing. Man, I need a breather. I need to take like a break. That was your Po-Man Motorsports post-race interviews. Thank them for sponsoring that. Well, I don't know what to say about this race. It was wild. It was crazy. Like I said, it was like a hurricane was coming through there, just knocking these cars out of the way. It's like somebody laid down a layer of oil all the way around the track. And, that's the mystique of Bristol. That's what Bristol brings, that type of racing where you just never know what can happen. It's fast. It's got a lot of banking. So when guys have issues, it causes issues for other folks. And, it's just like a dark cloud was over the track tonight. And, she was beating up these drivers tonight. And Garrett Kenner was able to come away with the victory and tame this beast, at least this time. Well, thank y'all for sticking it out. Appreciate all the viewers in chat, everybody chatting and letting us know that you're there, cheering on your drivers. But we move on to next week. And we'll take it from the short track, high banks, fast-paced Bristol Motor Speedway, and we'll drop them on a track made for Formula One for some reason. I don't know why, but we'll come back for COTA, and we'll see who can be a road course racer out there. I don't know too many road course ringers in this series, so it should be fun to see these oval guys jump out there and try to tackle what is talking about a difficult track, and 30 laps is a long time. So it's going to be a quick one. No cautions at a place like that, so we will we're going to see how these guys tackle a track like that. Should be a lot of fun. That's next week on the 21st. Same time, same place. I'm Eddie Smith. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed the broadcast. If you did, let me know. If you did, let me know. And we'll see y'all next week. But, of course, we want to thank Apex Sim Racing, Custom Gear, ApexSimRacing.com if you need a button box. If you've got a need in your sim department, heck, you know what? Just support those who support us and go over to Apex. Show Jimmy some love. Buy something. Get you something. Just get you a light switch. You got the little switch in there in your refrigerator that turns the light on. Well, get you a switch and put in there, a little rocker switch, something to really spice up your refrigerator. Whatever you need, he's got it. Go check him out. But I'm Eddie Smith. Thank y'all so much for watching VSRN. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you are, go over to V-Speed and subscribe to them as well. We all kind of fall under the same banner, so definitely want to thank them. Aaron Adcock, Chuck Phelps, all those who run the show over here at the Apex E-Series Showdown. Want to thank them as well. Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper, everybody over V-Speed. Y'all do a great job. Thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all next time.